Assalamu alaikum. Nice to meet you for the first time, and I hope we will spend a very benefit and important time to know something about motivation with learning and teaching. First of all, you have already know me. I'm Dr. Nagan, and you have your professor, your lecturer, Sam, and sitting us. So we are gathering here to shed a light on something related to motivation, videos on learning and teaching English as a foreign language. I will start to give you a brief hint on what do you mean by education, what do you mean by teaching, as a general information. So teaching related so strongly with the word teacher. That means they are interchangeable items. Teaching, when we are talking about teaching, we have already talked about teacher. So with teaching, it means that teachers are wrapped up with schooling and school. One way of approaching the question. So when we are talking about teaching, you should raise in your mind, what is teaching? So teaching is the process of attending the people need, experience, feeling, interviewing, and shorting of knowledge and experience, which is usually organized with discipline. Also teaching pre-planned behavior informed by learning principles and child development theories. Direct and guide instruction to ensure desired student outcomes. In 19th centuries, it was estimated that there was 2 million teachers throughout the world. Their root and their function differ from one country to another and differ from country itself. So teaching related heavily to the discipline of any state, and it has differed from one country to another. The act of teaching, so there are two parties with teaching related to the teacher and tutor, and who are work together in some program, such as subject matter, and they are designed to the learner experience and understanding goal. So this is a brief idea of what do you mean by teaching, and as I told you at the first, teaching is related to the teacher. So when you are talking about teaching, you are talking about teacher. This is all information for me. And now the role should be to sit Sam to explain her opinion about learning.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Nagan. Assalamu alaikum. Today we are here to explain or to shed light on the learning, on the concept of learning. Most people think of learning as what we do for school or study for tests. In fact, learning is wider and broader than this belief. Learning is a continuous process. It begins from birth till we die. Learning is not processed by human beings only. Animals can learn, machines can learn, and there are an evidence that some kind of planets can learn also. Yes, as I mentioned before, that most people think of learning as what we do for school or study for tests. In fact, learning is not in this sense. Learning is wider than this. Learning is a continuous process. It begins from birth till we die. And you know that we have two types of goals, which are immediate and distant. For the immediate goals which are done at once, while the long goals or the distant goals which need time to be achieved or done. We have types of learning. In fact, we have many types of learning. I'm going to mention the main types, such as the number one, motor learning. And motor learning, most of our daily activities need muscles to be done, such as walking, running, diving, driving, etc. The second type, we have verbal learning. In this type of learning, as you know, we use the language to communicate as well as we use the communication devices such as the signs, pictures, shapes, etc. The third type is the concept learning, and as you know that from our childhood we learn particular concepts about particular things, such as the word dog, which refers to a particular animal. While the fourth one is the discrimination learning, and in this type of learning is very important because we are going to use our cognitive abilities to discriminate among things. يعني your ability to learn how to discriminate among things. For example, your ability to recognize the horns of the cars, of the small car, of the ambulance car, or the long vehicle. Okay. Second, we have the learning of principles. You know, as a student, you have to learn certain principles concerning drama, grammar, mathematics, physics, etc., just to manage your work. Then we have problem solving. In this type of learning requires the use of the cognitive abilities, just like thinking, reasoning, imagination, reasoning, observation. This is very useful to overcome the problems people may encounter. Attitude learning. Attitude from our childhood till we become adults, we have certain attitudes towards things, such towards pupils, towards objects, and these attitudes may be negative or positive depending on your attitudes. Then I have the factors that affected learning. You know that learning is affected by many factors, which are internal and external factors. I'm going to shed light on the learner, on the factors that concerned with the learner, just like learner's physical and mental health, his goal of life and his motive, or her will readiness, or her motivation to learn, as it will be explained by my colleague Ms. Inas. The second type is the factors that related to the teacher, such as the teacher's personality, the teacher's mental health, the type of interaction maintained by the teacher, between the teacher and the students. And finally, the factors concerned with the content, the type of the content, the selection of the content, as well as the organization of the content. Thank you very much. This is all.
Thank you very much to Mr. Sam, and now the role of Stinas, and he will explain the role of motivation in learning, teaching process.
Yes. Thank you very much for the colleagues to turn on and so far the rich information, and I want to add something else, and I want to shed light for many points that I think that is the most important thing in both teaching and learning. Before everything, and in simple words and without any mutation, I want to say that anyone want to achieve any goal or any aim or any work in general life, not only in learning or teaching. Before everything, he must be prepared, psychologically prepared and mentally prepared. Yes. This is the most important point when someone comes to achieve any goal. So, before everything, I want to give a preface why we must be psychologically prepared. I think that I see all the time that our students and even everyone in the life, especially in our society and in our environment, are suffering from many difficulties and faces many difficulties. Yes. And they are suffering from a lack of self-confidence and a lack of courage and feeling unrest all the time. So I think this is a very big to prevent him to make anything. So my advisement, and I want to say for all my students, that the student must build himself. Try before everything to build himself. and left all the negative habits that prevent him from learning and from doing anything in the life. And I think in our life, or not in our life, I think we are lacking this thing, the creative thinking. How can I build myself? How can make my style in everything in the life? Not just in my address or my talking or etc. But in everything in the life, the student must have his attitude, his style, he must reflect his personality, his ideas, and it must be creative idea to develop our thinking, to develop our mind, to develop everything in the life and in our society, not just in learning or in teaching or anything else. So I want our student to be motivated all the time. And as we know that motivation must be inspired by a person or by events or by the individual himself. So I want our students to be motivated all the time. Part of video, of motivational video.
The title of this video is Never Give Up.
Poignant 7 words. Never give any speech anywhere. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. Those great people didn't. So I now have a responsibility to also not ever give up. I'm not special. I just listen to what the man said.
But I tell you, there are some times in life where you fall down. You feel like you don't have the strength to get back up. I will try 100 times to get up, and if I fail 100 times, if I fail and I give up, do you think that I'm ever going to get up? No. If I fail, I try again. For as long as I try, there's always a chance of getting up.
No matter what you might be doing, don't quit. The secret is in not giving up. Everybody who's done something great, they weren't that deep. What they had was resiliency. They had the ability to bounce back. All the great, they didn't quit. No matter how impossible your situation may seem, stay on course.
Such kind of video, it will be something like a challenge towards the traditional techniques of lecture. When we use video or when we get information via video, it's better than the traditional kind of video. So I prefer that everyone and every student try to use the motivational video in his general life and in more specification in language learning. So now I want to give you another example, but it is a real life example. It's for Muhammad to act something related to this topic.
Yes. I really want to say something. Is that now I have a room is full of dreamers and I want you really to think in your dreams. Do not convince me that you don't have a goal, you don't have a dreams. You have a dreams. But the problem is you don't think in your dreams. You think that your dreams is very difficult and you can't do it. Believe me, you can do it. You can do it. But the problem is you don't think in your goals. Your goals is beautiful. And that goal that you want to achieve is not to get a job or not to get a money. If you get a money or get a job, what's the problem? What's the point? The point is that to face requirement, you face a problem in your life, you face challenge, and then you achieve that, and then you will tell your friends that I face this problem and I don't stop, I don't give up. If you give up, you will not get anything. Please do not give up.
So we have this is a big problem, and somebody who wants to learn a language, to build himself, as you mentioned, a language. So he can build himself by saying many information, by saying many words. Don't say this This say one word, open your book or open your dictionary. This is not important, the word. You can't kick the word, kick out the word, because this is full. You will build himself by this word. Kick myself. As myself, I'm not from my birth, I'm learning, I want to, I cannot do it, or cannot speak English from my birth. I would save myself and learn information. I'm tired, I'm tired for million times. I thank some of you for all of you. Thanks for all listeners. This is good, important. You can keep your mind and focus on your mind. Thanks some of you for all of you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your rich information. I hope you spend lovely, nice, important time. Thanks for attending.